What is up, my dude and dudettes, and welcome back to TellerTube. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the subreddit r/choosingbeggars. If you guys are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. And with that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Choosing beggar brother disappointed over lunch offer. Okay, so my brother, 22, and his girlfriend, 32, live together about 9 hours north of my sister, 25, and I, 26. Occasionally, my brother would call my sister and ask for food for himself and his girlfriend, occasionally her kids as well, and she usually says yes. Recently, he had called and asked yet again if my sister could buy food for him and his girlfriend. Now, my sister doesn't get paid a crazy amount. She's a manager at a local retail store, meaning she doesn't really have any disposable income. She tells him yes she can and asks what he had in mind. He says he wanted some food from a local burger joint, which isn't exactly cheap if I may add. He proceeds to list 3 full meals and a few extras, making the total amount $60 with delivery and service fees. My sister lets him know that's a bit expensive and says if he can find something cheaper, she'll get that for him. She lists a few places that are cheaper, like a sub shop so they can split a sub, a taco place, and a few others, and tells him to pick from one of those places. He says he'll call back and tell us his decision. When he calls back, I answer as my sister is busy, and he tells me that they don't want any of that as they don't like the same kind of sub, so they can't share, and would all need different ones, and the tacos from the taco place weren't filling enough. I finally told him, listen, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but your girlfriend, which we've never met and I don't like as she's cheated on my brother multiple times, is not sister's problem, and to be honest, neither are you. She shouldn't have to buy food for anyone, especially your girlfriend, as she's an adult and should ask her own family if she really needs help. What bothers me the most though is they always have money for weed, cigarettes, and other things they want, but not food. My brother gets upset over us not getting the food he wants, and we get in an argument which leads to him blocking me on everything, which I didn't mind because to be honest, I'm not close with him at all, and we never talk unless he reaches out. He calls my sister and acts really dramatic and says, "Well then, never mind, I guess we just don't need any food." A few weeks later, he was back at it, but I stayed out of it this time. Yikes. Chief, if you're begging for food, don't be spending $60 of someone else's money. Or maybe use some of the money you spend on cigarettes for food. Come on. Choosing beggar with suits and an actual beggar who wasn't choosy but helpful. Okay, so I was emptying a warehouse for a hardware store I was working at. We would put all broken, damaged, or unsellable conditioned items inside large cardboard boxes outside of the warehouse to be thrown away later along with the garbage. There were a few usable tools in there, just damaged and dirty. As I was going back and forth moving things, I noticed various people looking through the boxes. They were all well dressed, some had suits on even. I won't forget a particular guy with a very expensive suit being face first and waist deep inside a box with very greasy contents. So, they would go through the boxes, take what they liked, and would leave without saying a word. It was a bit obvious we were going to throw them away, but not all that much. I would expect a few of them to ask permission first, none did. As I was moving stuff back to the store, a guy holding a wrench he took from the pile stops me. Choosing beggar. "Hey buddy, let me ask you something." Me. "A little busy now, sir." "Just for a minute." "Yes?" "I can't seem to find a bigger wrench. Why don't you find me one?" We have wrenches of all sizes at the store around the corner. "No, I meant find me one from the boxes." "I have to empty the warehouse. You can take anything you like from the boxes, but I can't help you." "Aren't you supposed to help customers?" "You have to buy something to be a customer." "Maybe I'll buy something another day, you don't know." "And on that day I will help you. Now excuse me." He kept on mumbling things, but I ignored him and kept on what I was doing. A little while later, an actual beggar came up to me. He was homeless. I knew him by face. Homeless beggar. "Hey man, I saw those boxes. Can I take some things from them?" Me. "Sure, we are throwing them all away anyway. Take everything if you like." "Great, thank you very much." He left and returned later with a couple of buddies, and they actually took everything. The useful items and the garbage, saving us the trouble of throwing them away. Note that out of everyone who took things, he was the only one to ask for permission. Oh my goodness. "Hey, could you stop what you're doing and help me dig through the trash to find some wrenches?" Sorry bucko, gotta get back to work. Good luck though." A literal choosing beggar. Okay, so this is my first post here as I usually just lurk this subreddit, but something so insane happened today that I just had to share it. Just for context, this story happens in Romania. Our currency is a Romanian lei. It's about 0.20 euros. Prices in Romania are pretty low. A bread, for example, costs 1 or 2 lei. So, me and 2 friends just finished hanging out at a bar/restaurant. We're in college, so we're really strapped for cash. After paying for the drinks, we had a combined 40 lei. My friends both had 10 and I had 20. Since we all lived pretty far away and it was late, we decided to share an Uber, which would cost around 30. Awesome, we decided we would all pitch in 10 lei, ordered an Uber, and started waiting for it. This is when Choosing Beggar approaches us. It's a woman about 45-50 years old, wearing dirty clothes and had a sign that loosely translated to, "Please help me, my son is sick and I have to pay for medical bills." She asked us if we had some money to spare. At this point, this seemed perfectly normal, just a beggar asking for cash. I still have 10 lei left, which I wouldn't spend that night, so I thought, what the heck, might as well help her, maybe her story is actually true. I get out my wallet and hand her the 10 lei note. She takes it and looks shocked, like I had just insulted her family. This is the conversation that ensues. Choosing Beggar: "What the F is this?" Me: what do you mean? "Are you seriously only going to give me 10 lei? You spoiled friggin' brat, I can see you have more." Just an FYI, usually people give between 1 and 5 to beggars. 10 is actually quite generous. Me: "This is literally all the money I have left." "No, you're lying, I saw you had 10 more," and points at my wallet. Then to my friends: "What about you boogers? Are you really not gonna help at all? My son is dying." My friend: "Listen lady, we don't have any money left. OP already gave you all he had left. He was kind and you're being an entitled piece of crap. You're lucky I don't take that note and shove it so far up your butt you crap money all week. Leave us the F alone." Admittedly, that was kinda rude, but under the circumstances, I think it wasn't at all out of place. This is where things get spicy. Choosing Beggar punches my friend hard. He has braces, and his whole upper lip and half of his lower lip were pierced by them from the punch. He started bleeding bad. After this, she has the absolute nerve to scream that she will call the police. What is the reason, you may ask? That we were friggin' mean to her. Yes, I know. Not only that, this happened in one of the most crowded places in Bucharest, Old Town. The street was literally packed with people who saw the entire encounter. A witness did call the police, but not for the reason Choosing Beggar thought. When the cops came, she tried to spin the story to make it look like we were the villains, but obviously a ton of people who were present backed us up. A policeman, who is a literal god, made her give me back my 10 lei and then arrest her for assault and disturbing the peace. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he made her give me back the money. It's not like I was dying to have it back after the whole incident, but the look on that donkey's face made my day. That's pretty much all. My friend had to get some stitches, but is now fine. He obviously decided to press charges, and the Choosing Beggar is facing 2 months in jail. Oh my goodness. Okay, Chief, now was it really worth punching him in the face? Oh man. Sister rejected a guy because of his father's choice of employment. Okay, so my sister and I have a strained relationship. Well, she has a strained relationship with everybody due to her antisocial behavior. She's lazy, rude, ill-tempered, and a bit of a drama queen. Not surprisingly, she doesn't have friends and spends her time in her room watching movies or sleeping. Introversion is fine. I'm an introvert, but I don't turn my face away from anyone, I mean anyone, when they try to speak to me and never speak but glare at them as if they did something wrong like my sister does. She doesn't even try to make people feel comfortable around her. Also, if she does something wrong and someone tries to correct her, she will take it personally and see them as her enemy. She also exaggerates the story into something dramatic that makes them her bully and her the victim. So, it's obvious that I am the better daughter in the family that everyone likes and often approaches first instead of sister, who's older than me, which made her jealous of me. I also happen to have a better paying job and a boyfriend, which added fuel to the fire. She constantly tries to compare herself with me by copying everything I do, from my choice of career to clothing. Naturally, we have constant fights, or she creates fights in spite of her jealousy, so I stop talking to her even though we're living in the same house with our mother. As of Asian customs, my family decided to arrange a marriage for sister. We set up an account for her in a matrimonial site similar to dating sites, except people marry instead of date. Sister didn't get many interests, which I secretly expected because she's out of shape and she is glaring at the camera in most of her pictures in the site as if she's uninterested because she's too lazy to look presentable in the pictures. I suspected she didn't like to have an arranged marriage, but I noticed her looking into her account at times. Most of the interest she's received were from either high school dropouts and unemployed men or men that's too old for her and is understandable for her to reject them. But what made me disappointed at her was something else. Last month, a guy contacted my family. I'm not a person who's into arranged marriages, but I really like this person. He's a decent guy with a decent job and a fair personality, and I thought he would be a good match for my sister. I think he was the best among all the proposals that came for her. My family liked him very much. With high hopes, we waited for sister's answer as she and Guy started to have virtual dates due to the corona situation. Hopes were dying when we noticed sister ditching his calls by telling him she's in meetings even though she's not. Days passed and we got a call from Guy and he was disappointed. He told us that sister is avoiding him and he believes she is not interested in him, so he is dropping the proposal. After the call, my mom talked to her. This is how the conversation went. Mom, what happened with Guy? Why were you avoiding him? Sister, he's asking too many questions, like what I want for a person I'm about to marry, my job, you people, the future. He's so clingy and getting too personal. Mom, shocked at her answer, and me facepalming silently in the background. That's how people should get to know each other before they marry. They talk about personal things, he's not being clingy, he's trying to get to know you. It didn't sound like that. He was pushy, and I think he is having some kind of inferiority complex. Why is that? He told me he doesn't live in a house with facilities as good as ours, and that he comes from a middle-class family. I told him I didn't know if I can adjust myself to live with him as a middle-class person, as I lived a luxurious life. He didn't like it, and he is just taking out the anger on me. I have to point out here, we're also a middle-class family, except we live in a city and our father used to work abroad. Sister is just being entitled. Mother and I couldn't believe she said that. Mother, how could you say that? That's very rude of you. No wonder why he sounded sad. You shouldn't have said that. Sister, why are you siding with him? He's the one starting all of this. He's the one being rude. Besides, that's not the reason why I rejected him. His father is a taxi driver, and I can't see myself being married to a driver's son. Again, I have to note, yes, his father is a taxi driver. He is retired from his previous desk job and took up a part-time job as a driver. So what? Guy has a great job, he has an MBA degree too. You want me married off to a taxi driver's family while OP is marrying a guy whose father is an accountant? This is not fair. Why does all the bad things happen to me? Mother's jaw drops and double facepalm for me. And to the guy, consider yourself lucky because you just dodged a bullet. No, he's not good enough for me. Plus, his dad is a friggin' taxi driver. I'm not marrying that guy. Shake my head. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button as it would really help me out. Subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with my latest videos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.